In this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to be more of a people person. I find one of the biggest blockers that most people face is that they will not get started or they'll give up on building a network because they see other people who are much more natural at it and think, oh, I'm just not a people person. That may be true, but the misconception is that you have to be a people person in order to build and maintain relationships. After working with thousands of professionals over the past decade, I find that actually I'd say most people that I work with, it doesn't come naturally for them. Now, in my video series, you'll see interviews with people who say, for example, on the most extreme, that like people is the one thing and relationships is the one thing that I understand more than anything else in the world. And other people who say like, no, like they weren't, right? And actually, I would say like, I'm that case, right? I'm the latter. I used to be incredibly introverted. It may not be obvious like, when you see me interacting these days, but relationships is something that I've had to take time getting good at. So that's something that I really hope you walk away with understanding. And I'm going to give you a few key tips that will help you on that path to at least being more of a people person. So number one, remember that for some people, it's nature. For some people, it's nurture. For some people, it does come naturally, right? They know that they can just walk into any room and just connect and get people. For other people, it may take some real time to connect with people. So again, just know that you might need a little bit of help. So number one, remember that for some people, it comes naturally. For others, it just requires a little bit of work. And it's totally okay if you are in that latter bucket. I definitely am. And we can actually learn a little bit more from watching how other people interact and following those patterns. Number two, have a few simple tactics in your pocket. So I will share two of my most important tactics, and there are many, many more that we'll talk about in following videos. But number one is to have a few really great questions on deck. Now, people who are more naturally inclined to be people, they are naturally curious and they just love to learn people's life stories and connect. For other people, like me, it doesn't come naturally to be as curious or at least outwardly curious with people. And so what have I learned? Well, questions are a great way to open people up. So for example, I have simply memorized the words, hey, what is the most exciting thing for you right now? That is a great question for me that lets people open up about whether it's a professional thing or a challenge they're facing or a book they're reading or podcasts. It's just something that's exciting to them. And that allows me to then practice active listening to show I understand them and show I'm listening to them, right? I'm not just taking notes, but I'm just saying, hey, I understand, I see you, I hear you. The other tactic that works really well for me is to simply show people that I care about them. Now, all I have to do is send a text message every once in a while and say, hey, just thought of you, hope all is well. That actually leads me to my next point. So beyond tactics, then there are also systems that you can put in place. So put in place the right systems. Now, you'll see this in the interviews that I do. For some people, they will just naturally have no problem reaching out to people. They don't necessarily have a schedule or pattern or strategy, but just whenever someone comes to mind, they'll make an introduction. When they're meeting with someone, again, naturally be thinking about, all right, who can I introduce this person to, right? They didn't have to specifically think about it, but just the right person will come to mind. They'll shoot off a text message, great. For other people, it requires systems. I'm one of those people that require systems. So it can be as simple as having 15 minutes a day or week or month in your calendar to, okay, I'm going to update my CRM and update the notes of people that I've been meeting with recently. I'm going to see about who are a few people who I want to reach out to. I'm going to. My wife, she's amazing. She knows everyone's birthday. She can just wake up one day and go, oh yeah, it's XYZ's birthday. I don't. I barely remember when it's my birthday. So instead, I have a CRM and I also go on social media to see birthdays and other life announcements, and I'll reach out to people based on that. So again, there are other ways to reach out and to engage with people. The last point, I know that fear is a big blocker, but overcoming fear is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Now, I get it. And we have a whole other video on fear. There's the fear of being salesy. There's the fear of looking like a weirdo. There's a fear of being inauthentic. There's a fear of rejection. There's a fear of what to say. There's so many things that prevent us from reaching out. The key idea here, though, is that all of us face fear, right? Even the people who are naturally more inclined to build relationships, they still have that fear that may pop up, like a little kind of, funny feeling in the stomach right before they're about to walk into a conference. Know that many other people face that fear, and you can be one of the few to overcome it. Now, I record a lot of videos around building and maintaining personal and authentic relationships with your network to cultivate amazing opportunities in your business, in your career, in your life. This is just the first of many. Love to know what you think, and let's stay tuned.